Stein and Ryder Realty Incorporated presents to you another great real estate opportunity.
Shawshank Prison.
Oh, by the way, is there a place we should put this?
Shawshank Prison was built in Maine. Since 1896, it has housed 186,000 dangerous criminals, including Andy Dufresne, Ellis Boyd Redding, and Brooks Hatlin. And until the year 1966, when a small incident occurred with the prison warden, the prison stood firm.
Oh wait, should we maybe tell them about that? It seems a little
Be quiet, Molly. This is my segment.
But Shawshank is well known beyond its circles of convicted felons. In 1982, a short story was written by author Stephen King and was published about the prison. And in 1994, a film adaptation was released. In fact, as it adds significant value to the property, let's discuss this cinematic masterpiece.
The Shawshank Redemption uses several elements of film in order to convey an inspiring message of hope, that in the most desperate situations, people should maintain it.
The first element we will be discussing is setting. The contrast between the setting of the beginning and the end of the film portrays the existence of hope in the outlooks of characters throughout.
On the first night that Andy, one of the main characters of the story, spends in prison, extremely low lighting is used. Most shots are taken from the outside of the cell looking in. This is done in order to convey the trapped feeling that the prisoners are experiencing. It gives the viewers the impression that they are outsiders and that they are isolated.
And when they put you in that cell, when those bars slam home, that's when you know it's for real. Old life blown away in the blink of an eye. Nothing left but all the time in the world to think about it. Most new fish come close to madness the first night. Somebody always breaks down crying. Happens every time. The only question is, who's it gonna be?
It's very clear from this image that the prisoners are in a place void of hope.
And this setting is mostly uniform throughout the majority of the film.
Wow, that seems pretty boring. Wouldn't want to live there.
Molly, we're trying to sell this place. Shut up. To enhance the setting, the framing of scenes matches this drab atmosphere.
Hope. Let me tell you something, my friend. Hope is a dangerous thing. Hope can drive a man insane. It's got no use on the inside. You better get used to that idea.
But the setting of the film drastically changes once the characters leave Shawshank. When Red is finally reunited with Andy at the end of the film, the shot is wide and open. Vibrant, joyous colors occupy the frame, a stark contrast to Shawshank's muted color scheme. The characters undoubtedly have regained a sense of freedom and hopefulness for the future at the end of the story.
Oh yeah, when I make the place look bad, I'm in the wrong. But when you do, we're just supposed to brush it off like nothing happened. Huh.
Characterization is also a significant aspect of the film.
Andy serves as the beacon of hope throughout the film. Despite the drab setting, we described the overall hopelessness of his situation. Andy strolls through the prison as if he's walking through a park instead of an institution.
I could see why some of the boys took him for snobby. He had a quiet way about him. A walk and a talk that just wasn't normal around here. He strolled like a man in a park without a care or a worry in the world. Like he had on an invisible coat that would shield him from this place. Yeah, I think it would be fair to say I liked Andy from the start.
What makes Andy's resilience in maintaining hope even more remarkable is that he had been put in prison for a crime he wasn't guilty of.
Now, in case you have any doubts about Andy's optimistic ideas, here they are in his own words. As a man who has a deep love for music, he uses this artistic medium to explain his aspirations.
That's the beauty of music. They can't get that from you. Here's where it makes the most sense. You need it so you don't forget.
Forget.
Forget that there are places in the world that aren't made out of stone, that there's something inside that they can't get to, that they can't touch. It's yours.
What are you talking about?
Hope.
Unlike the existence of hope in the setting, Andy's hope throughout the film never wavers. From beginning to end, he maintains the same hopeful attitude despite his circumstances.
In fact, Andy even serves as an inspiration to other prisoners, specifically Red.
Let's take a moment to look at the characterization of Brooks, another prisoner who was released from Shawshank.
Since Brooks was under the assumption he would die in prison, he had no hope for life outside of Shawshank. As an institutionalized man, he was unable to cope with his new reality and committed suicide.
I saw an automobile once when I was a kid, but now they're everywhere. The world went and got itself in a big damn hurry. I have trouble sleeping at night. I have bad dreams like I'm falling. I wake up scared. I don't like it here. I'm tired of being afraid all the time. I've decided not to stay.
It is clear from this scene and from the letter Brooks writes to his friends back in Shawshank that he has given up because he is completely without hope. And no wonder, considering the hopeless atmosphere he has lived in and grown accustomed to for so many years.
So, what makes Red's outlook on the same situation of the film so unique? The answer is Andy.
Remember how we explained that Andy served as a beacon of hope for the prisoners? His reminder of hope to all of them had such a profound impact on Andy that he was able to find strength to carry on in the real world instead of giving up like Brooks did.
The effect of Andy's story on Red's life is an essential part of Red's characterization and development throughout the film.
While he initially enters the prison without hope and even with an apprehensive opinion about hope itself, Andy reinvigorates in him the hope that he needs to continue on.
Terrible thing to live in fear. Brooks Hadlin knew it all too well. All I want is to be back where things make sense, where I won't have to be afraid all the time. Only one thing stops me. A promise I made to Andy.
As you can see, Andy was Red's beacon of hope. Brooks didn't have any outside of prison, but Red did. Red still needed to find the letter, and he still had to meet his friend in Zihuatanejo. These promises were an indicator to Red that his story wasn't over, and he maintained hope for the future.
I hope I can make it across the border. I hope to see my friend and shake his hand. I hope the Pacific is as blue as it has been in my dreams. I hope.
Time for a fun fact. Did you know that prisons have self-sustaining economies? Prisoners sell and distribute contraband items, sometimes using items like cigarettes or bartering items.
That's true. In fact, because of this system, we've decided to rate this film 5 out of 5 cigarettes. It's an amazing story, and its theme warrants this film its high grade. As you can see, this film serves as an inspiring message of hope for all. Even in the most dire situations, hope is always there. Or at least it can be, if you take advantage of this amazing real estate opportunity. Take a moment to stop by Shawshank Prison and take a look around. Do you want to be reminded of the inspiring story of Red and Andy? Why not live inside of it?
We should probably mention
This property is not only amazingly inspiring, it's also incredibly structurally sound.
What about...
Just don't check behind any posters. I hope we sell this building soon.
I hope I can retire soon.
Yeah, I hope you retire soon too.
Okay.
Okay.
That was really hard not to laugh.
There we go.